My house knows I am home before I even turn the key in the lock, and it tells the rest of the family instantly without me sending a text. By the end of this guide, you will have bridged the gap between Amazon's cloud voice assistant and your local, privacy-focused home assistant server, creating a system that handles complex automations and targeted announcements seamlessly across every room. The problem with relying solely on standard Alexa routines is that they live in the cloud, which introduces latency and limits you to basic logic. You cannot easily ask Alexa to announce that the user has left the house only if the guest mode is active and the away mode is disabled. That kind of conditional logic requires a local brain, which is where Home Assistant comes in. Without this bridge, your smart home is just a collection of disconnected gadgets rather than a cohesive system that reacts to your actual life. We are going to set up the Alexa Media Player integration, which is the backbone of this entire operation. This custom component links your Amazon account directly to Home Assistant, exposing your Echo devices as media players and allowing Home Assistant to push commands back to them. Once this is installed and configured through HACS, you will see your 6 Echo devices populate in the dashboard, named exactly as they are in the Amazon app, like media_player.front_room_echo and media_player.bedroom_flex. The first step is to expose your entities to Alexa's voice discovery. You do not need to create new smart home skills in the cloud, the integration handles the cloud handshake automatically. We need to look at presence detection because that is the trigger for everything. I do not rely on motion sensors to know if I am home, I rely on my network. I use device_tracker.phone_1 and device_tracker.phone_2, which are tracked via Tailscale VPN. This is crucial because standard GPS tracking can be flaky, but Tailscale is rock solid. When phone_1 crosses the geofence boundary of the home zone, Home Assistant updates the state immediately. This state change triggers the welcome_home automation. This automation does not just turn on lights, it also checks if away_mode was active. If it was, it disables away_mode, sets the house to a comfortable state, and prepares the system for occupancy. Let's talk about climate control, specifically the heater. I have a simple smart plug named switch.heater connected to a panel heater in the nursery. You could just ask Alexa to turn on the switch, but that is dumb. I want a smart climate system. I have exposed switch.heater to Alexa, but I have also exposed automation.heater_evening_on. When I say, Alexa, turn on the heater, the voice command goes to the cloud, comes back to Home Assistant, and triggers the automation. This automation checks the current temperature and the time. If it is evening, it runs the sequence. It also ensures automation.heater_low_temperature is not currently active. This layer of abstraction means my voice command controls a routine, not just a dumb relay. It prevents the heater from being turned on in the middle of a summer day by accident. Now, for the visual side of the house. I have an Ortrix 3 Ultra display sitting on my desk. It is controlled by input_number.ortrix_brightness, which adjusts based on the time of day. But the display works in tandem with audio. If the daily_energy_cost_summary automation runs, it pushes a notification to the Ortrix screen showing the current cost, and it simultaneously triggers an audio report on the nearest Echo. This is handled by the script.weather_report or the energy summary script. It pulls data from sensor.dcc_sourced_smart_electricity_meter_cost_today. This sensor is fed live data from my Hildebrand Glow smart meter via the DCC integration in the UK. I can walk into the kitchen and ask, Alexa, what is the energy cost today, and she will read the exact penny value from that sensor. The real power, however, lies in the announcements. This is where the YAML comes into play. We want to create custom scripts that Alexa can execute which target specific devices, not a blast to every speaker in the house. Look at the configuration for script.dinner_is_ready. It uses the notify.alexa_media service. The data block defines the message, dinner is ready in the kitchen. The critical part is the target list. We have specified media_player.front_room_echo and media_player.bedroom_flex. This means the announcement plays loudly in the front room and the bedroom, where people actually are, but it does not blare in the nursery where the baby might be sleeping. This targeting is handled entirely by the entity IDs in the YAML. You do not need to build complex routines in the Alexa app, you just write the script in Home Assistant, expose it as a script, and it becomes available to your voice ecosystem instantly. We also have to handle incoming presence events dynamically. When phone_2 leaves their home zone, the leaves_home automation triggers. This automation checks input_boolean.guest_mode. If guest mode is on, it stays silent because we have visitors and we do not want the house announcing every time someone pops out. However, if guest mode is off, it triggers a TTS notification. It identifies which phone left the zone. If it is the user's phone, the announcement says, "The user left home." This utilizes the device_tracker attributes to pull the name of the user. This announcement is routed to the media_player entities in the ground floor rooms, ignoring the bedrooms upstairs. This context awareness is impossible with standard Alexa routines alone. We also need to respect the sleep schedule. I have input_boolean.do_not_disturb and input_boolean.bedtime_mode. When bedtime_mode is active, the system alters its behavior. The sunset_ambient_lights automation will still run, but it will dim the lights to a lower percentage. More importantly, the announcements are suppressed. If the arrives_home automation triggers at 2 a.m. because I forgot my wallet and came back, the system sees that bedtime_mode is on. Instead of announcing "Welcome home" through the bedroom echo, which would wake everyone up, it simply flashes the Autrix light gently and sends a silent notification to my phone. The automation logic checks the state of input_boolean.bedtime_mode before it calls the notify.alexa_media service. Let's look at a real-world scenario to see how this all comes together. It is 6 p.m. The sun has set, so sunset_ambient_lights has turned the living room a warm orange. I am in the kitchen finishing cooking. The food is ready. I walk over to the kitchen echo and say, "Alexa, run dinner is ready." That voice command triggers the script.dinner_is_ready we looked at earlier. The message, "Dinner is ready in the kitchen," plays immediately on media_player.front_room_echo where my partner is watching TV, and on media_player.bedroom_flex where our eldest is reading. It does not play in the nursery. Simultaneously, the Autrix display in the hallway switches to a pizza icon. Later, when I go to bed, I say, "Alexa, bedtime." This triggers the bedtime_routine. It turns off all the lights, sets input_boolean.bedtime_mode to on, and runs automation.heater_bedtime_off, which cuts power to switch.heater. The house is now quiet and secure. By integrating Home Assistant with Alexa, you have moved from simple voice commands to a responsive, context-aware environment that respects your presence, your sleep, and your energy usage.